Hey guys, Will here. Welcome back to Modeling from the Ensign's Chair. Today on this episode I want to get at least one of these nacelles sealed up. Last week when I left off I was waiting on some parts from Lake Monster Models, and these are the updated upgrade parts. I finally got them in. If you don't know differences between these, I did put out a second review on Lake Monster Models parts, and talks about the updates that Cass has made to these. So take a look at that. There's also information on how to order these if you've already purchased the first upgrade kit and you just want to get the updated parts. So take a look at that. It's on my YouTube page. So now that I've got those parts in, I can take a look at getting these nacelles sealed up. I did have to do some additional work and a little backtracking on one of them, so we'll go into that and talk about that. So give me a minute, put you on the bench, we'll get to work. Alright guys, so I did get these other parts in. The original planter sensor dome we're not ready for yet, but our collectors here for the front of the nacelles are in. I do want to get one of these sealed up. I do have some work I've had to backtrack a little bit on this one nacelle. As I pointed out in my Lake Monster Model review number 2, I had originally replaced these, and these are the outboard sides, the outboard grills, and I originally replaced these, but at the back here I'd gotten a little heavy-handed with the sanding and I messed up the grill. So Cass sent me over a set of his outboard grills for the and it's mainly used for a smoothie build. As a matter of fact, they sell these as a kit, just a smoothie upgrade kit with just these, and also the colored inboard grills that you can get in blue or violet. So what I've had to do is I'd replaced this. I went ahead and cut it back out. And these parts, and unlike the part that I used, I think in the first or second episode of this build, I don't have to modify these at all. These fit perfectly in place. And you just have to be careful that you don't take off too much material. A little bit isn't too bad. I've got a little more material taken off here than what I would have liked, but what I'll do is I'll, just like I think I showed this in my previous episodes when I've done this, but I'll take a piece of tape, I'll get this nice and flush, and I'll just take a piece of tape and cover that over, and get that nice and flat. And then what I'll do is I'll take some of my epoxy here, my 5-minute epoxy, and I'll backfill the back side of this. And what it'll do is that epoxy will lay nice and smooth against the front side of the tape, and it'll give you at least a nice level area to start out with. You still have to do quite a bit of work, but not as much as if you had just kind of stuck it in there, or if you had tried to use something else. It'll fill it in there nice. And you just got a nice smooth surface to start with, and you just got to do a little sanding. Like I said, last time I did a little too much sanding and I messed it up. So I got to do a little more work on this nacelle before I can put this together. But what I've got ready, now that I've got my other part, is this nacelle is ready to go. It's all light blocked, it's all wired up, all my LEDs are in place. I've got my spotlight LEDs in front. All I got to do is take a little bit of my epoxy putty, which I think is actually a Loctite all-purpose putty, epoxy putty. I think that's what it is. I might have to get another tube of it and I'll show you what it looks like. But anyway, it's good stuff to use. It's what I'm using to seal up the different sections like I showed on the last video, so I don't get any light leaks from the LEDs here in the front to my blue, or from my blue to the reverse. So that's what I'm going to be doing in this episode. We'll get that sealed up. So give me a minute and we'll come back and take a look at getting that done. Alright guys, so I've got everything ready to join together with this nacelle. I've got, what I did was I put some more of that putty on this side, but this time I left it with a bit of a raised lip, so when I put it together it's going to form a seal with this side. Same thing with the back. And it's been on here a couple minutes now. I want it to stiffen up a little bit. So it just doesn't completely roll off when I put this together. I want it to kind of smush together so I get a good seal on the front and the back. So I've got my glue on here, and Let's put this thing together. Make sure these wires are all pulled out so they're not bunched up in there. There we go. There we go. Now, some people use clamps. I've got clamps. Let's see if I can get these on here. But you can also use tape, although tape doesn't get as good of a hold as these clamps do. And I picked up a set of these from, I think I got these from Harbor Freight, and they were only a couple bucks a piece, but I've had a couple that just don't work anymore. They don't keep grip, so you know, you get what you pay for. You can probably get a better set of these from some other places, but all right, got it all clamped together. Need to adjust this clamp here just a little bit. Not quite getting the closure on the bottom here I'd like to get. All right, there we go. So, there we go. We're going to let that dry for a couple minutes, and we'll come back and take a look at it once we have it all together and see how our light blocking went. And I've got another thing I did with this crystal on top here that I want to talk about, but we'll let this take a couple minutes, let it dry, and we'll come back. Alright guys, so I've got one nacelle all sealed up. I do have a couple light leaks. I got a big one up here and then a little bit of one down the front edge here. But doing my light checks, just testing everything out. I've just got the Paragraphics part that I did the die cam on just laid on here right now, and it looks pretty good so far. Like I said, a little more work on the light leaks. I did do something else with this crystal on the front. Let me pull this off though, so don't mess that up. And I really only need to light. Come on, get on there. If I can get this lead to go in there. But you can see that crystal on the top there is lit up nicely now. And I got a light leak there on the edge of the busser to fix, but I'll fix that when I'm working on my light leaks. But what I ended up doing was I was talking about putting another SMD or an LED in there, and I really didn't want to do that if I didn't have to. So what I ended up doing was just taking a piece of fiber optic, my side glow fiber optic, and gluing it in there and bending it so that it pointed to those lights in the front. So it would siphon a little more light into that LED crystal. And you can see it's got a nice blue glow to it now. So, and it's just sitting on there. I haven't glued it in place yet, but I think it's going to work out real nice. So that's how I solved that issue. But other than that, it's she's all sealed up, and I've got my my other nacelle, the one that I replaced this part on, this side grill again, one of the outboard grills, and but that takes it's a 5-minute epoxy, but if you read the small print, 24 hours for a full cure. So I'm gonna let that sit till tomorrow, and then I'll work on that some more and get this warp nacelle sealed up. And when we come back next week, we'll have the nacelles all sealed up. I'll start working on fixing the little light leaks and that here and there. And we'll be about ready to start doing some painting on these individual parts. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to attach, I'm leaning towards attaching the pylons and then painting versus doing the pylons separately, but I'll make a final decision on that here in a couple days, here in a day or two. So, but that's what I'll be working on, is getting this other nacelle sealed up, and finalize my wiring and trying to do some seam work on these and finishing my light blocking. And when we come back next week, like I said, hopefully we'll be ready to start doing some real painting. But anyway, I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate everybody that subscribed. I'm glad everybody's finding these videos useful. I do just want to say that, you know, from time to time, when I get time, when I'm not working on this, and when I'm not actually at my full-time job, I do like to check out other people's YouTube pages and you know, what models they've got going on. So if you've got something going on, please let me know. I'll take a look at it. I do want to point out that, you know, the only reason I'm putting a lot of money into this model is because it's an original smoothie. And original smoothie meaning it's the 1979 production line. Everything after that had the grid lines in it, but this one doesn't. And because it's, you know, these aren't cheap. I think this one cost me about 80 bucks. So I don't mind putting a little money into this one. But, you know, you don't have to put a whole lot of money into these. Certainly not everybody's going to pay, I think it was like $100 or whatever it was for the antenna controls kit, lighting kit for this, which is meant for the 1350, but I've made it suit my needs for the 1537 here. So you don't have to put a lot of money in these, and I mention that because I just want to say over at Space Stock Modeling on YouTube, he's doing some real good work. He's got a build up on the 1537 and he's doing a minimalistic approach, meaning that he's not doing a lot of aftermarket parts, or any aftermarket parts, I don't think. But just check that out if you get time. I thought it was an interesting approach to this model. If you don't want to put a lot of money into it. If you don't want to do the antenna controls kit or lighting kit, you can do your own lighting. The Lake Monster model parts, depending on what parts you want to do, are very affordable. So check those out as well if you want to do some upgrades, but you know, not throw a whole lot of money into the kit, because obviously these kits, the current repop version of it, you can get them for 25, 30 bucks. So not a lot of people want to put, you know, $200-300 worth of work into it. Understandable, but like I said, there's some options out there to check out, and you can do some good work on these and make them look really nice. So anyway, like I said, I appreciate everybody for subscribing. If you like this information, this video, or any of the videos, please hit the like button down the bottom. Let me know. Shoot me a comment. You know, if you got any questions, please feel free to contact me. I'm on Facebook. Just go on Facebook and do a search for @EngineSchair, and I'll be on there. So till next week, keep modeling.